a comparison between then and now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Six Screens Tele-Network. Well, my name's Rick Farron, and I'm coming to you from the apostate capital of the world up here in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, and we're so glad you could be with us tonight. Well, friends, we had a big day today at the convention up here. Sorry we're broadcasting a little late tonight, but sometimes the technology and moving equipment around, computers and cameras, but we're at the Hilton Hotel. Now, listen. If anybody is in the Boston area and you're listening in and you're an ex-witness, or maybe you are just an opposer, maybe you have friends that are witnesses, why don't you come join us tonight? We got some pizza, we got some cold drinks. We're up in room 259. So come up to the Hilton, knock on the door. We'd love to have you. We have a big meet up here tonight. We'll see what happens. We did a good protest today. Very, very happy with it. A lot of people were really snubbing us. I think we'll get more into that later, but we were really snubbed a lot, but there were a lot of people reading signs too. So I really think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be able to protest. Now, I know years ago, people didn't want to protest. They said, Rick, why are you protesting? You're just feeding into the persecution complex of the Jehovah's Witness. I have to deal with that a little bit differently. I have to tell you that when you protest, you are speaking out to the world. It speaks volumes. Not everyone will do it. Not everyone. I can understand there's extenuating reasons why some can't. But I'm going to tell you, you get an adrenaline rush because the Watchtower, as we all know, is an evil cult. And we had a man come by today, and he saw the signs. He almost fell off his bicycle. He was driving by, saw the signs we had up, and he stopped, and he was just so intrigued with what he saw. So he stopped. He wanted to talk to the audience. He says, is this live streaming? I said, yes. So he came on. He talked about how he at one time was in a Christian cult himself and how bad it was. And it destroyed so many people, but he knows all about the witnesses. He says he listens into some of the ex-witness channels as well. But, friends, there were people looking. I will say that. There were some people, in fact, two women stopped. They rolled the window down. They spent just about 30, not even 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. They said, we are glad you guys are here. This organization has to be exposed. And that's what we do here at the Six Screens. And I have to say this. When you stop and think about it, the ex-witness world is making a difference. So many YouTubers coming on now. We give credit to every single person that posts on Facebook, the Facebook groups, the YouTube people, all of those people that speak up and expose the Watchtower. Kudos to you, because I got news for you. This activism is working. The activism is definitely working. More and more people are leaving the Watchtower, and it has a lot to do with the apostates exposing them. But not just them. We have a lot of people, too, that never were witnesses, like my good friend Norman LaRoe. He's with me here tonight. He's an opposer. He never was a witness, but, boy, he's gung-ho to expose these guys and let people know how evil this organization is. Then the other thing I wanted to suggest, too, was not only the opposers, but, friends, we now have countries. We have countries coming down on the Watchtower. We've got Norway. That's probably the best example right now. The Jehovah's Witness organization is going to lose close to $2 million a year simply because they're shunning people. And the country of Norway says, hey, you can't do that. You can't do that. You're breaking families up. You're causing all kinds of havoc in the families. So Norway says, we're not going to give you the charity money. Because as we talked before, in many parts of Europe, the witnesses get charity money. They get money from the state for every person they have. The Catholic Church gets it. All the churches get it. The Baptists get it. The Methodists get it. They all get it, including the witnesses. But when a young man came forward in Norway and said, my family doesn't love me anymore. I've been kicked out of the Jehovah's Witness organization. He got the attention of the government. And the government said, enough is enough. And when they started inquiring into the witnesses, they found out that, yes, indeed, they hurt a lot of people. They caused suicides. They caused people to actually commit suicides because of their bad policies. Well, I mean, we go on and on and on. But anyways, I'm glad you're with us tonight. We got a lot to talk about. We'll be interviewing some people here tonight. We'll be talking about the protests. I got pictures. I have got the pictures. Friends, you know, apostates can't make these pictures up. How are you going to make a picture out of a stadium? I mean, you'd have to be pretty good at Photoshop, right? These are real pictures. We are looking at the Jehovah's Witness organization hemorrhaging. They are hemorrhaging. They are cooked. Take them off the grill. They're cooked. And the monkey died. I say it all the time. The monkey died. The circus is over. Well, let's bring Norman on here. Norman, can you come on and say hello to us? There we go. Yeah, Norman, you know Norman. He can sit right here. Might be some air conditioner. We're in a hotel room. But this is Norman LaRoe. He's been involved with us for a number of years. He's a good man. He's a Christian man. But, you know, the good thing about Norman, he's a gung-ho fighter. He fights hard to expose the Jehovah's Witness. Norman, say hello to people.
Hello, everyone. How are you tonight? It's a pleasure to be here with Rick. It's a pleasure to talk about the witnesses and to see the wonderful work that Julie and Rick have done in exposing the Watchtower and what they're doing. I could not believe the footage that Julie got of how empty the Tsonga Center is. I mean, you could put easily 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 people in there. And when I was watching it online, I couldn't believe how empty it is. When I had gone to the convention back in 2019, and I looked at the pictures that I had taken, and the picture on the screen just says it all. The pictures that I got, there was a lot more people there than there are right now. I just can't believe how many empty seats there are. I had gone to the convention, was it last year or the year before they had gone inside?
Oh, last year.
Last year. One thing I noticed last year from 2019 is that they had blocked off more seats last year than they did in 2019 to make it look fuller. But I tell you, I'm looking at these pictures and I am just absolutely stunned at all the empty seats that are there. I just can't believe it. I think that maybe next year or the year after, they're going to have to get a smaller venue because they probably can't afford to have this giant stadium with that few people. Maybe they'll have to rent a hotel room just for their convention because there's that few people coming in. Again, I'm stunned, absolutely stunned.
Well, Norman, they got a name for you here. They're calling you Storm and Norman. I have to agree with them. I have to agree with them. Yes, indeed, Storm and Norman is correct. So Norman, he's a great guy. Like I say, he's worked with us so many times here at the Six Screens. And we're so glad to have him. Norman, let us know last year, they didn't seem to interrogate the Six Screens members we had going to the convention today. But tell the audience last year how you interrogated.
Well, last year I was able to get in with no problem. As I was walking towards the Tsonga Center, I was greeted by one of the brothers, and he seemed nice, and I was able to go in no problem. It made it past the metal detectors. I walked around, and I tried to be as inconspicuous as I could. But as I was leaving, I noticed that there were a few people following me. And when I left, just as I stepped out the door, the police were right behind me, along with a couple of elders, and wanted to know who I was and what I was doing there. Now, I thought that this was open to the public, and I told them I thought it was open to the public. And they still wanted to know who I was and if I was with those guys over there. And they were pointing to Rick with the signs and everybody over there. So I told them, I said, you know, I talked to people at the carts and mentioned about the convention, and one of the elders piped in and said, "Oh yeah, we have people at the carts who invite people." So from there on in, they seemed to be satisfied with that, and I was able to leave. But again, they stick the police on me, and I was again stunned at how well Julie did. She was absolutely fantastic. Got some great footage. And I really think that she's a great asset to Rick and to the movement too. You know, it takes guts to do that. It takes a lot of courage to walk into the lion's den. And
Yeah, go ahead, keep talking. Yeah, keep talking. Yeah. Well, we'll get right back with us. We've got all right, let's do this now. I think we have the lights on better. I think we have the microphone on better. I think you can hear me now. So is that better now? Is that better now? Let me know if it is. Okay. All right. Let me just check my settings. We got some more guests will be coming in here with us. Hang in with us. Hang in with us. We are doing a protest today, which we did already. We're here at the Hilton Hotel. And we're just checking to make sure that we have all the right cameras, all the right microphones on. Okay, hold on one second. I believe this is right now, Norman. I think we're right. Come on back, Norman.
Yes.
Okay, we got Norman back. Norman, they call Storm Norman. Okay, he's back on with us. I think you guys can hear better now.
Sorry about that. I had to let an apostate in.
There he is.
It's got a nice green button that says XJW, so I know that he's an apostate.
Yeah.
And not an opposer like me.
Yeah.
I tell you, like I said, I am absolutely stunned as to how few people are there. And Rick, I talked to Rick quite a bit, and he told me that the society is going down, and it's true. It's absolutely true. Rick is not exaggerating. The attendance is getting lower and lower and lower. They've closed Kingdom Hall around the area, quite a few. The Drake Kingdom Hall, they closed that. A church bought it, an Anglican church. They put a big old cross right on top of the watchtower. They closed the Chelmsford Kingdom Hall. They closed the Billerica Kingdom Hall. They're closing all over the place. And I talked to some witnesses, and they said, well, we're just making better use of the space that we have. Right, I'm sure you are. They're trying to put. It reminds me when there was COVID, and if you look at the baseball games, all right, the outfielders running toward the back of the wall, and there's a bunch of cardboard people there because there was nobody at the baseball game. I presume that someday, if they keep having conventions at the Sangha Center, they're going to have to get a bunch of cardboard witnesses to fill all those seats because they're not coming. They're not coming.
Well, no, I'll tell you, no doubt. I mean, you've seen the witness movement here. Would you say that things are somewhat different than they were, say, 10, 12 years ago?
Oh, yeah. They've gone down quite a bit. And of course, they're not printing the literature like they used to. They're not going door to door like they used to. Their activity has gone way down. I've got some family members, and I don't know how they're going to keep staying in there because they keep changing all the light. The meat due season, well, the meat starts to rot after a while, so they have to keep changing it. I don't know how much more they can handle. I know that they've had some with the beard and the slacks that women wear, and the older witnesses don't like it, and I really believe that they're on their way down. The witnesses are gone. Those who are, let's say, early 70s and up, they to go. You're going to see big change, and I really think that in the next 5 or 10 years, we might even have to be here because they're going to be so small. It's amazing how what Rick has been saying is true. They're going down, and they're going down big time.
Well, that's absolutely right, Dom. And now we've been saying that for years. I know when we first started protesting, you and I, going back 15 years ago, at the Kingdom Halls, we got bad reception. Now, today wasn't a day of good reception. I have to tell you that. I think the witnesses have been put on notice to just not pay any attention at all to the apostates. No attention at all to the apostates, because no one, well, I shouldn't say no one. We had a number of people, I'd say probably, of all those cars going, I'd say 50 stopped. Few women, most of the women, I have to tell you, were looking at the signs. I could see them pointing to their husband, and their husband seemed to be very stoic about it, but they were pointing to it. They were saying, look, honey, look, honey. But I could see it from my vantage point. I could see it. So, last year we got a lot more people giving thumbs up. People were stopping, taking pictures of us. But something got into the witness world. Something got into them where they were told, don't you dare look at those apostates. That's Satan, the devil himself. Well, we're here at the hotel. We're going to go down a little later and see if I can't get some PMOs to come up here. If you're listening in tonight, if you're a PMO and you're listening into this broadcast tonight, we're at the Hilton Hotel right here in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Now, if you're a PMO, if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses that is kind of doubting things, you don't believe things, I'll tell you what you want to do. Come up to room. What's the room number, Norman?
259.
259. Yeah, 259. They're having some key issues here. So just knock on the door, knock hard, because we got a lot of noise. We got a bunch of apostates up here. So things are rock and rolling. So knock hard on the door. We got some pizza for you. We got some cold drinks for you. So why don't you come up and be with us? If you're a PMO listening in, I can just imagine there's some Jehovah's Witnesses are in this very hotel, and they're laying in bed, and they're going, oh my goodness, that's a 6 grains on a washout. They are here. So if you're a PMO, we got some masks. I got a Ronald Reagan mask. I got a Joe Biden mask. I got a Donald Trump mask. We'll put that on you. I have got a voice changer. Nobody in the world will recognize who you are. So why don't you try to come up here tonight? That would be wonderful. It's room 259. We got pizza for you. Come on up. Join the crowd. We're having a party up here. Things are just starting to rock and roll. So what do you think, Norm?
Well, I think that last year there were more people than there were this year. I think that they were the emos from last year, the ones who gave Rick the thumbs up, the ones who gave Rick the smiles and the waves and everything. They're probably gone by now. So that's probably why the other ones left, the stoic ones, the ones that are the true blue witnesses that will stick to the society until the very end. But again, we don't know who the PMOs are. They probably can't look at Rick's signs because they know they're true, because they've seen this before, especially the elders. The elders have to know a bunch of things that are going on. They can't deny it.
They can't know, and they can't deny it at all. Luke, that might be the pizza. The pizza's coming. We got a bunch of pizzas coming. Friends, come on up and join us. Come up and join us. Yeah, that's the pizza, man. We're all set. So now I'm going to have some pizza. Larry has some pizza. Julie has some pizza. Isaac and Sean, they're here with us as well. Well, you are a PMO. Yeah, that's. Hey, Luke, would you like to just say a few words to the audience? I mean, they. But come on, because they like to introduce you. I want to introduce you to my good friend Luke. Well, he's a PMO. In fact, he's more than a PMO. He's out. He's really out of it. But staying up at the hotel, he was our chief cameraman today. He was taking camera pictures all over the place. He just took a shower. Kind of hot out there for him today, but he did a great job. Luke, the people really enjoyed the videos today. You did a good job, Luke. Yeah, good job.
Surprisingly, there was a number of people that gave me thumbs up and stuff when I was shooting it. Some people even in the same cars, somebody in the back seat would wave, and the other people in the car could see got kind of upset with them for doing so. But we definitely got a lot of attention today. I could see people as they drove by melding what the words of the sign said, like they were reading them. So we definitely got a message out there.
Well, really good, Luke. Really, I want to tell you and Julie as well, your wife. She was inside the convention. I've heard her come over and probably say a few words too. she did a wonderful job. I mean, I've had people write me all day and saying, Rick, that woman Julie, she's amazing. She's quite the girl. She did good. In fact, friends, when was the last time that you watched something live streaming from an actual regional convention? I mean, this was somewhat of a first, but I'll tell you, we had a hot spot. We sent Julie in. We sent a young man named Isaac in, and they went into the convention. So, Julie, when you're ready, are you ready? You want to come on? You want to come on? Okay, Julie, she just took a shower, so she took all the makeup off and everything, but don't worry about that. Julie is a real girl. Julie is, she's not one of these fake Hollywood type girls. She's, thank you for the 6 cans. Woohoo. Cool. You want to get more from the band. I don't get the message, look. All right, go ahead, go get more. Yeah, go get more. Yeah, to the band. Yeah, give it the keys. We need some more soda, friends. We're getting people coming in. We got the pizza coming in. We need to get some more. We got to get some more soda. So let me give Luke the keys here to the car. You go. Now the car. I'll tell you what the car is. Okay, you got to go down the stairs, and you got to go out. It's in the back here. But there's a back door out. But if you go out, you might not be able to get back in. You might have to walk all the way around here. All right. Okay. All right. Do your thing. Don't bring back the keys. Don't lose the keys. Lose the keys. I don't get home. All right. We've got. All right. We've got Julie. Julie. I'll tell you what. Julie. I think she's going to get an Academy Award for cinematography. I really do. I mean, she did. She was unbelievable. Well, okay, we're gonna let's give credit was due. You did a good job. So what it was, Julie is well, Julie, first of all, before you've heard Julie on our programs before. Julie, she's had a rough time with the witnesses. Let me put it this way to you. Could you just, without going too far into it, could you tell us that story that you always tell us, the first time you went to a Kingdom Hall, Julie? Would you tell us that?
On my very first meeting,
Come on right close if you want.
I was very focused on making sure that I was dressed appropriately so that I didn't I fit in. I didn't offend anybody. I wanted to do as they did because at first it seemed like I wanted what they had. And I spent so long trying to get proper clothing and everything. And I had one dress that had a slit up the side. So I put leggings, not nylon, solid leggings underneath it. I didn't have any high heels, but I had a pair of boots that had a heel on it that went up to my thigh. I mean, right below my knee, up to right above my calf. And the dress that I was wearing covered part of the boots. And the dress had sort of like a low V cut with a string where I could pull to tighten it up. So I put a shawl over my shoulders. About 10-15 minutes into the meeting, I went into the bathroom. I was approached by 2 sisters who told me the boots made me look like a prostitute. The dress was too low cut that it would distract other brothers. And instead of me realizing that they shouldn't be looking or I tried or whatever, they pointed out things that were wrong, and I felt like I was doing something wrong right off the bat. And it just, and there were plenty of people that did love bomb me, but my outfit was picked apart and I had nothing else. And even today at the convention, there were women that I don't even know how they were allowed in if the dress that I was wearing was inappropriate, because it looked more like a runway show where everyone was they were exposed, and even the younger teenage girls, their skirts and their dresses were partially see-through, and for nothing to be said to them, but for me to be something at my very first meeting.
So you would say, Julie, that the code of dressing has changed? Would you say that?
There were women wearing pants. I was sitting next to a woman who was wearing a pair of pants. I actually saw right across from me, and I got some video clips of it, of multiple men with facial hair of all kinds. And it was much different than what I would normally see or what I would expect to see at a regional convention.
Wow.
There were even brothers and speakers that had facial hair.
Is that right? Speakers too. Yeah. So, Julie, you're a real trooper going in there. That's not easy doing that. That's not easy doing that. You're a trooper for doing it. And I have to really give you credit. A lot of people, in fact, they were writing in, making comments on YouTube and Facebook that, boy, yeah, Julie, she's doing an excellent job. So you were involved with the witness for a while, never was baptized. Nobody interrogated you today when you went in there?
Not so much. I learned from my first incognito experience, the less I answer questions or interact, the easier it is for me to get away with it. Like I just blend in. Simple yes or no answers. Are you from the area? Yes. Were you invited? Yes, someone knocked on our door and invited. And we decided to stop by.
Golly.
And they just happened to put us in a really good area where we were sitting, because they had brothers almost every 10, 20 yards, looking down each aisle and everything. And I didn't want anyone to see the phone that I was actually recording.
Well, you are quite the lady, I'll tell you. And we really appreciate you here at the Six Screens. You are a girl that puts the boots on the ground, I'll tell you. And yeah.
They tried to take my boots away, so put them on the ground.
Did you see any baptism?
I didn't, but there was
The pool?
inflatable pool with the white steps up and the white steps down, and on the agenda, I guess I would call it, the baptisms were at 11.
Well, that's what they said, 11?
Well, yeah, that's what it said online. They had the
So,
agenda.
oh, is that
they were
right?
gonna do.
Well, I'm going to tell you, folks, I mean, this is a big difference. I have to tell you, I was involved with the Jehovah's Witnesses for 50 years of my life. When I went to a regional convention, they weren't in a small arena. I mean, I'm not, downgrading the Songa's arena here, the 6,500 seats. But I used to go to Veterans Stadium, Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium. I used to go down to Veterans Stadium in Pennsylvania. They had 50, 60,000 people. So, and we're looking at a real tanking here. We're looking at the watchtower hemorrhaging big time. They don't want to. Well, what I've been reading online, in fact, people have been sending me things. I want to thank all those guys that send me stuff. I get emails all the time, all day long. My Facebook messages going off. But I want to tell you, I have a bunch of people sending pictures in from various conventions. For example, in Independence, Missouri, tanking, just like you've seen here, tanking. We had some friend of mine send me some stuff from out in California, I believe it was in San Diego, one of the largest conventions in the country. Like almost half the people showed up. It's really not working for the witness world as they thought it would. So anyway, we get people knocking. Okay, that's Luke. Okay,
Even
you
one
got
of
that
the
yet?
videos that
Yep.
they played. One of the videos that they played during one of the the lectures. I don't really know what the terminology is. It showed back in the past how jam-packed the conventions used to be. There were no more available seats. People would be standing up. They had to almost do them outdoors because they couldn't hold everybody inside.
Well, I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to put this up on the feed so people can see it. Here it is. I mean, this is, well, that's an empty stadium. That was over in Europe. That's in Brighton, England. You can see what I'm talking about here, friends. That's Brighton, England. We have other pictures coming in from various conventions around the country. This is Long Beach, California. Let's show you Long Beach, California. There it is right there. Hold on. See if we can't get that up. For some reason, it's not going up. All right. No, there it is. Yeah, there's Long Beach, California. There's a lot of, well, you have to look close, but you'll see a lot of empty seats there as well.
I see more people attending a Justin Bieber concert.
Oh, yeah. No, it's unbelievable, Julie. Let's see what we got here. I did have another picture I wanted to show you, but I don't know if I took it out of here or not. Okay, this one right here. This is what Jehovah's Witness conventions used to look like. This is what they used to look like. Hold on 1 second. And it'll show here. We're having a little trouble getting the cap there. That's what Jehovah's Witness. Norman, come over here. I want you to see what Jehovah's Witness conventions used to. That's the day. That is the day that I used to go to conventions. Now that is a Jehovah's Witness convention.
That's huge.
That is a huge Jehovah's Witness convention. They're not like that anymore. What they're like now is like this. That's what they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a.
Again, you can fit that many people in an Elks Hall.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I just wanted to bring that up. Friends, you were on JW World News on the 6 Screens Telenetwork. My name's Rick Farron. We got Norman LaRoe here with me. But, you know, I'd like to kind of open the lines up. I'd like to see if anybody out there listening in on telephone line has anything to say. I just have to go over here and unmute you. So just give me a second to do that. We'll unmute you and see if we can get you on our, okay, why, okay. Okay, where is our, okay, all set. Now what we'll do is open up the lines here, and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, but just give us a second here. For some reason, we have lost control of our, hold on 1 second. And anyways, yeah, I'm going to put a link up here. If anyone would like to come on StreamYard, if someone would like to come on StreamYard, I'm going to put a link up so that you'll be able to come on StreamYard and talk to us tonight. That would be a wonderful thing to listen to what the audience has to say. I'd love to hear what they're thinking. So I'm going to put a link up to StreamYard. If you want to come in to StreamYard, by all means, be my guest. Let me just get us out of here. I'm going to put a link up right now. Let me go over to banners and put a link up to StreamYard. If you want to come on, you can come on video. Or if you just hit the link that I'm going to put up here, folks, if you just hit the link, you can come on video. If you don't want to come on video, you don't want to be seen, I understand that. Or you can come on audio. So if you want to come on, I'm going to put a link up right now to come on. You don't have to be on video. You can be on audio, just audio as well. To come on, here's the link. All right, hold on 1 second. Just gonna click. All right, just click this link. It's gonna be up in 1 second, and you come on, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. I really would. So let's do this. Let's add the banner. All right. All right, you see that link right there? You hit that, you'll be able to come on and be with us tonight. Would love to have you come on and be with us. So anyways, a lot of things going on. We have a man named Larry. He came all the way up from New Jersey, and he's with us here today, and he wants to, he wanted to protest, so he came up 2 days ago, and we really appreciate his presence. So let me just do this. I'm trying to find out why I lost my conference call information here, why we don't have that on. But always something that goes on here. You try to talk and chew gum at the same time, but it doesn't work. Let me try it on here.
All participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
All right, so if you would like to unmute yourself and come in, hit *6, come on. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? What's going on? What do you think of all the empty seats at the convention? What do you think loyal Jehovah's Witnesses are thinking? Do you think that thinking the organization's growing? So go ahead, hit *6. Come on. I do believe we have this set up right. Maybe not, but would love to hear what you have to say. So come on, hit *6. Tell us what you think about the convention. Can you do that for us? I'm not sure we have the telephone line working right, but I do believe that all you have to do is hit the *6 and come on. If not, you can come on our video. See that link on YouTube right now? Why don't you come on video? I'd love to talk to you, friends. Come. Yes, go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, it's Thomas Possible again. Hey, I'm really glad to see y'all protesting over there today. Boy, that sounded really good.
Yeah, no, very successful. Very successful when you see all the empty seats, Thomas.
Oh, I bet. Did they have a drop-off where they tried to scare people, like you better listen to Jehovah or his organization or trouble?
Oh, yeah, they did do that. In fact, one of our people that went in, he said that they were talking about that, you know, to spend all your time worshiping Jehovah. You know, they're talking about the Bethelites and how they are working at Warwick and how hard they're working around the world. They love Jehovah and they're trying to get more Bethelites, and you can come work with us here at Bethel. I mean, who would want to go to Bethel today? No, this organization is tarnished. Who wants to belong to an organization that's going down the drain? I'll tell you, it's really despicable. Really despicable.
It's really amazing, isn't it, how paranoid they are about people coming in. They used to want you to come in, now they're just like, they question you like you're interrogated or something. It's just unbelievable the fear mongering they have.
Oh, it's unreal, Thomas. It's I don't know if you were watching it today or not, but when we were there at the convention, did you see some of the protests?
I didn't get to do that. I wanted to, but
well, it'll be up on YouTube. It's going to be uploaded. We did a live stream, so it'll be uploaded. Yep. Well, thank you for calling. Thank you for calling in, Thomas. All right. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for calling in. Listen, why don't you hit *6? You want to say something? I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead, hit *6. You're on our telephone radio network, so go ahead, hit *6. Come on. Don't be bashful. What do you think? Are you glad to see so many empty seats? Empty seats all over conventions. I'm getting information into the 6 queens, and that seems to be all we're getting. Is everywhere around the country, from California to Boston to down south. It's all empty seats. Unbelievable. The Watchtower is not the organization that it used to be. All right, listen, if you want to come on, hit the link. I'm not sure why we're not getting a lot of people. Maybe the transmission problems here are giving us some issues. But when Larry's ready, and we have Larry come over, he's going to give us a little synopsis of the convention. Larry is from New Jersey. He's the man that sounds like Fred Franz. He's a former Bethelite. He traveled all the way up here to Massachusetts to be with us. And well, we're having some trouble here with the rooms. The keys aren't working. Remember yesterday they had the internet problem with CrowdStrike, and a lot of internet services were out. Well, it's the same thing here at the hotel. That they couldn't give us a key. They had to escort us to the room, which made it kind of difficult, really. But what are you going to do? I mean, when the internet goes down, I mean, everything's affected, from your bank account to opening your room in a hotel place. So, I mean, it's all different. But if you're in the Boston area and you'd like to come and be with us, I'd love to get a PMO, I should say, come up and be with us. I got a voice changer. I got a mask. We're staying at the same hotel they are. They see us here. They're saying, wow, the apostates are saying at the same hotel that we are. Well, anyways, we're glad that we're able to be here and come live to you tonight. We do have a man by the name of Larry. Well, he wants to come on here and talk to you. He's going to give you his thought. He was out there today holding up signs, and he is a real trooper. He was out there for 3.5 hours just constantly, and he's going to give you his understanding of the convention. So we're going to turn the program over to Larry. I'm going to get out of the way here, and I'll let him sit here.
And Rick, I'm just a little camera shy. If I can start with my opening remarks off camera, and then after that, on camera, I want to show you these wonderful signs, some of which are my best work ever.
All right, well, hold on, Larry. Let's get Larry on here. He's a little camera shy, but he's willing to come on. You've heard Larry here before on the 6 screens. He calls in. He's a good caller. He's always willing to call and say something. And he's here with us here tonight. He drove all the way up to 200 miles just to be with us here. So we'll let him just kind of talk to you first, and then you can bring him on camera. So just give us a second. And Larry, if you just want to go on camera here for me, you want to just talk for a bit? I'd rather have you come on camera if you can. Why don't you come on camera?
Okay.
Camera, that way there, you'll be.
Okay.
All right, let's bring Larry on camera. Let me show the cords.
On your assistance.
I've got more cords. Yeah, hold on a second. Just gonna get some cords out of the way. I'm doing this from a hotel room. It's not my studio. All right, Larry, let me give you some room here.
Okay.
And
Thank you, Rick.
you guys back here.
Very nice.
There's your seat.
Thank
And
you, Rick.
You got the floor. You let people
All
know.
right.
You let the people know what you saw. Tell them what you think.
I feel like
Here comes Larry right now. Just give him a second.
I feel like somebody that's important. Wow.
Well, he's very important. My book is important. Anyone that comes and protests with me is an important person.
All right.
Sit right down that seat.
I'll take the
Sit down.
I'll take the compliment. Make sure
There you
I'm
go. Take the pilot seat there. There
hopefully
you
I'll
go.
be
All right. So let me just make sure you.
right in the right spot here.
All right. I think you're all right. Just the microphone here. All right.
Okay, how's that?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
First of all, I wanted to mention that, as a matter of fact, yesterday I did attend the convention. So that was Friday. It was the opening session. And I attended about the first 2 hours of it. And I got a good feel for the convention. I got a good feel as to if the people looked happy or not, how many were there, what was the makeup of the crowd, what was the overall general feeling of it. If somebody would ask me, what is the big takeaway from the Jehovah's Witness convention? If someone would ask me, they would say, okay, you've visited Rome. I've never been there. Please tell me, what was your overall impression of Rome? What was the most important thing you felt about Rome? The single most significant thing, and no doubt an astute observer could tell them. So that's what I wanted to answer here tonight. The single most significant, most important thing, biggest impression of the convention, the number one thing that hit me. And I'll tell you what it was. It was the fact that the producer of the convention, the Watchtower, they're not producing, they're not achieving, they're not, presenting something that's, I don't want to use the word spectacular. They're not presenting something that's just outstanding, that's worth, I don't want to say that's worth living for, but that's worth all the time, effort, money, problems to get there to listen. So for example, in other words, this is a lesson you see all the time in everyday life. The lesson comes down to this. It's something that we all know. If you're a producer, a presenter of anything, you have to give the people that are attending, that listen to you, you're obligated to give them their money's worth. What we call, quote unquote, give them their money's worth. Make it worth their time, their effort, their patience, the trouble to get there. Make it worthwhile for them. That's where Watchtower is failing And that was the one big, significant, important thing I noticed. In other words, we had all these JWs there, and I looked that crowd over very carefully. They all looked like, very intelligent people, neat and clean, well dressed, taking all the effort to get there and sitting down. And I must say this. Well, one thing that did surprise me, I must say this, during the entire time I was there, over 2 hours in the opening session, I couldn't believe how absolutely quiet it was in the audience. No matter what, no matter what was going on the podium, what talk, what movie, whatever, it was quiet, very quiet. You could hear a pin drop in there. The people, all the people, were so well behaved on their best conduct. They were all courteous, polite, sitting there. Sitting there to listen and to learn. So they were genuine people putting forth their best effort to come, sit, be quiet, and actually get something big from the convention. But as it turns out, from my observation, the convention presentations are just blasé, I would say, and that there were them just boring, in fact, mind-numbing boredom. So Watchtower is not hitting the mark of offering something wonderful, something good. Isn't that true? That's the principle we see in life all the time. For example, you take the famous star now that's filling all stadiums. Her name's my mind now. And she packs out all the arenas everywhere. They go. I'm sorry, yeah, I just had a mind. Yeah, that was it. Taylor Swift. You can take an example from Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift puts on these big, fabulous concerts. That's number one. Number two, from what I've read and seen on videos and whatnot, every single one of them is just packed out. Every single one is sold out, and they're not small venues. She goes like to the huge stadiums in the world, and every one of her concerts is packed. People enjoy it. They love it. They want to go there. So that's number two. Now, number three is the question, why? Why are so many people go there and pay a lot of money, travel expenses, a jet plane, to travel to Europe and everything to see her? Why? It's because of the general idea, the general principle that she definitely knows how to, I'm going to put it this way, how to give people their money's worth. Her performance, her act, her singing, all that dancing, the way she appears is just so tremendous, so wonderful. She gives people their money's worth. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses, that's what Watchtower should do, but that's where they're failing. Instead of making a blasé presentation that's mind-numbing, boring, you're not getting much out of it. Yet the astonishing thing, which I felt sorry, to be honest with you, I felt sorry for them. All those people there, all those JWs there, they're just like little automatic automatons trying their best to fill their role, trying their best to do their part, to act like they should act, and kind of hoping, pretending that they're getting something out of it, but they're all being let down. That's the number one takeaway from it. The number two takeaway from it is this, and I had a chance to speak to some of the attendants there about this matter, and that is, I saw they put on the opening day there, Friday morning, they put on a movie and called a video. It was about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, about his birth, St. John the Baptist, and the Annunciation to Mary, and the father of John the Baptist, namely Zechariah, and so on and so forth. So, what's the point? The point is, this is what I told them when I had a chance to talk to them, and I couldn't get away from them. They came up to me, and they were all very friendly, courteous, polite to me, helpful, accommodating. So it gave me a chance to talk to them. I didn't have to go and seek them out. They came up to me, but they were also questioning and so on. So the point is that with the presentation there about Jesus, in fact, one attendant asked me, is this the first convention you've ever been to? Where are you from? And so on and so forth. When he said, is this the first you've ever been to? I said, yes. I said, this is the first one I've been in this state. He did ask me, he says, well, I said, well, what do you think? How'd you like the session? I said this. I said, it seems like now, I said, and I told him, I'm going to use the word finally. Finally, your particular church, I used that word on purpose, your particular church is finally getting on the Jesus train. I said, it's taken you long enough. For the past how many decades, you've not been on the Jesus train. In fact, they have different back presidents of the Watchtower. They would just, instead of talking about Jesus is the Savior of the world, instead, what your group the Old Testament and found a passage there and about the ancient God of the Hebrews, Jehovah, and they just latched onto that. And the whole time, that's what you've been on. You might say you've been on the Jehovah train all this time. And now finally, you're finally catching up to all the other Christian denominations, Christian fundamentalist denominations. And the fellow I was talking to happened to be a black man. I said, and I'm going to tell you because you're black. There's many black churches. People just love Jesus. That's their theme. That's their central focus, Jesus. You're finally getting around to it. You're finally catching up with them. And then I told even in one of your pamphlets, you have a headliner there on the pamphlet that says announcing Jehovah's kingdom. I said, really with this convention, I checked over the program. It's all about Jesus Christ. Maybe you should change that to instead to say announcing Christ's kingdom. Wouldn't that be more appropriate? Because we are Christians, and in fact, even your very name, maybe that should change. Instead of calling yourself Jehovah's Witnesses, now if you're putting all this emphasis on Jesus Christ, you should follow what the Scripture said. Did not Christ Himself say? He said, "You will be witnesses of me throughout the whole wide world." So there, the biblical thing would be Christ to be witnesses for Christ. So those were the two takeaways. But the main, and then thirdly, I commented to them. I made some remarks to them about the movie. I said, just maybe, you folks should be a little bit cautious, a little bit careful when you're starting to make movies about Jesus Christ. I said, for decades now, Hollywood is specialized in making movies about Jesus Christ, and they use big talented movie stars that know how to act and that are very skillful. And Hollywood uses tremendous movie producers and movie directors that some of them are geniuses at making movies. And those movies are so good, are so interesting. You know, people pay money to go watch these movies. And I'm thinking of one that's really outstanding. One that's really outstanding a few years ago. And I believe, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, and I believe the name of the movie was King of Kings. And I can still in my head, in my mind, I can still hear that the tremendous dramatic musical theme for that movie, King of Kings. And I told this brother there at the convention, I said, you know who the star of that movie was? He was a movie star from Sweden, of all places. His name was Max von Sydow. This guy was about, I'm sure he didn't look anything like Jesus, but nevertheless, that's not the point. The point is to make something that the audience like, that the audience love, that they feel they're getting their money's worth, that they need it so much. It's Max von Sydow, if you remember him, famous movie star from Sweden. He was like 6'3" tall, piercing, sparkling blue eyes. He had long blonde hair, you know, as he was playing Jesus. So, and his performance in that movie was just tremendous. And I can still remember it in my mind. At the end of that movie, when they showed the ascension of Jesus back to heaven, I can remember the movie, the music. Pardon my singing voice, but it was something like King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Very inspiring for the ascension. So the point being, Watchtower can't compete with these multi-million-dollar movie makers, multi-billion-dollar studios that know how to make movies, have big, talented movie stars to do it, know how to really put together a movie that's really, attractive, that people want to see. Whereas what I witnessed yesterday morning, it was just a very blasé, insipid presentation, and hardly held. It was boring, hardly held. So they should get out of the movie business and let Hollywood do it. So my second point I wanted to mention is that today, in fact, we did some protesting outside of the convention, and the point of it was to witness to the witnesses. In other words, witness to Watchtower. We blasted them with the message, our message, an important, needed, necessary, vital message. And what was that message, you ask? Well, it was very simply. It included some of the following things. To the JWs, you have one life to live. Live it. Also, don't let anybody steal your free thinking ability from you. Don't let anybody steal your freedom of thought. Don't let anybody steal your life dreams. Don't be naive. Don't be gullible. Don't let yourself be bamboozled. Use rational, clear thinking, logical thinking, strict rationality. That's what you need to use so that you're not bamboozled or deceived. Do not rely on feelings, emotions, sentiment. These things are things of the heart, and the heart is treacherous, and your heart can and will deceive you. Also, the message we gave, and I think that I think this is interesting. Someone might ask, well, what is the one biggest, most important issue to blast the witnesses with, to blast the watchtower with? What's the one big, most important issue to talk to them about? And of course, talking to many XJWs, there's many different issues that are important that could be used to blast them. But ask yourself, what is the single most important one, or maybe the top two? I'm going to give you what I believe that I'm convinced is the top two. And these are the top two because I think that these are the two things that even the faithful, loyal Jehovah's Witnesses, these are the two things that they really, in fact, have doubts about all along, even while being faithful and loyal and practicing Jehovah's Witnesses. There's two things in their head, that's stuck in their back of their head, that they're doubting. So these are the two most important issues to hit on. What could they be? And on the one, and in fact, on both of these, I'm speaking from a little bit of my own experience. That when I in fact was the JW, faithful, zealous, practicing JW, I had these two things in the back of my mind. Of course, I never spoke. Of course, I never spoke about them. Never told anybody about them. But they were always there nagging. I'm going to tell you what they are. I think the first most important one, and it's the easiest one to disprove, and of course I'm not going to go into detail about it now, but the first one is their crazy, ridiculous teaching, the teaching of the 144,000. And I'm sure many listeners know all about that and what they say about it and so on and so forth. The facts are, you don't even have to be a Bible scholar or know the ancient languages, know Greek or anything. You just have to know a little bit about the scriptures, and it can easily be proven, obviously be proven that whole 144,000 doctrine is all bogus. It's all in error. So that's the number one thing it's good to hit the witnesses on, because in the back of their mind somewhere, they're still doubting about it.
Well,
now the second,
just on that subject, you hold on here, Larry. I want to jump in here because
yeah.
I got some information here that I think would be very valuable to mention at this time. That Jesus movie. You saw the Jesus movie.
Yeah, at the convention, yes. But how about but Rick, how about all the Jesus movies that Hollywood has produced over the decades? Some of them tremendous movies. People went to see those movies. They were inspired by them, and likely they Hollywood probably did more for Jesus Christ than a lot of religions.
Let me tell you, Larry, what's going on here. Okay, just hold on for a second. What we have here, that Jesus movie, is to get you to fall more in love with the governing body. Now, let me just explain. Just hold on here with me. It's only my thoughts. Don't take it to the bank and cash it. But I think this is what the Watchtower is doing. For years, they never really talked about Jesus. We know that. We always talked about Jehovah. Now, all of a sudden, this 2024 convention, they're bringing up Jesus, and they're bringing him up big time. And it's like the whole life of Jesus. This is something that is very unusual. Now, what I feel is happening is on my own thoughts. I mean, you might differ with me. That's okay. But I think what's going on here, Larry, is, right now there is 22,000 anointed Jehovah's Witnesses. That is up double from what it was 10 years ago. The number is climbing. They've got to do something about this. So the Watchtower a few years ago, they came out and basically said, in fact, they said it emphatically, really, that, all the anointed really aren't anointed. They're suffering from some type of a mental decay, or maybe they have thoughts left over from Christendom. But the only anointed ones, the only ones that are Christ's brothers, would be the governing body. So I believe what they're trying to do here is suck up to the witness organization, they're trying to emphasize the fact that the only ones that are really, really Jesus' brothers are the governing body. And I believe that whole talk was to kind of emphasize that, to kind of show the connection to the governing body and Jesus. That's my feelings on it. And friends, I have to tell you something. They've got to change this 144,000 doctrine, like Larry's been saying. What do you think?
Bingo! You stole my punchline. I was just getting ready. You stole my punchline. I was just gonna say. I said I was gonna say, Rick, let me go out on a limb right here now. Let me make a prediction. You know how so many of the doctrines are constantly changing and even lately changing? That's got to be one that's on the chopping block. It's just a matter of time. That 144,000 doctrine they're gonna throw it out the window.
Well, they're moving in that direction.
You're correct
right?
on that.
They're moving in that direction right now.
Well said.
They have to do it in little pieces. They cannot do it drastically because people will notice it. But they're now, I mean, we all know, I mean, when I look at friends, you know it all anyways. I was one of the anointed. I really was. I was one of the anointed. And back in 2005, when I was this fellowship, there was 8,700 anointed. Now, today, there's 22,000, and the number is growing. They don't want that. They don't want it. So a couple of years ago, as you guys remember, we talked about it here at Six Queens, the governing body said that they were the only ones that would be anointed. All the others are just kind of secondary anointed. I don't know what class they want to put them in. But the governing body now is anointed. This Jesus talk is to try to solidify the fact that the governing body is nothing more than Jesus' brothers. Friends, in fact, we know the governing body, they have suggested in recent Watchtower articles that they are going to be with the King of Kings. They, in fact, are kings. Would someone like to speak up? You run with us. Go ahead. Speak up.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, we know that the governing body is not Jesus' brothers, because when Jesus was having his assemblies, he fed people. They ate really well. Jehovah doesn't feed anybody at his convention. So you go to Jehovah's house, there's no food. But Jesus always had bread and he always had fishes. And I'm not just joking around, that's the truth.
Well, this is
Jehovah don't feed.
It is the truth. I mean, this is what they're trying to do. They're really trying to emphasize Jesus. And they are, they don't say Jesus Christ. They don't say the Messiah. They say Jesus.
Our Lord.
Yeah, they say Jesus. Really promulgating that. They're really pushing it. They're really trying to make it seem they're connecting with Jesus and how the governing body is the true brothers of Jesus.
Yeah, they don't say our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are Christ, the Son of the living God, like Peter said. And they don't say stuff like that. They'll just say Jesus. But you know what? The assemblies, I'm gonna go back on that. The assemblies have no food, and Jesus fed people with real food. I don't think you can just say that that's not important. That is important, because you have women going to the conventions with children, and there's no food. Come on. And Jehovah says you got to bring your own food. Come on.
Wow, thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Gilbert, for coming up. My goodness gracious, always good to hear from Gilbert Gonzalez. Thank you, Gilbert. Who else? Is there anybody else that would love to speak up? We're going to put Larry back on, but anyone else want to speak up and talk to us? Go ahead, hit *6 on your telephone pad. Don't be bashful. Go ahead, hit *6. What do you think? We do have Eric coming on here. Let's bring Eric on. I see him coming on here on our video stream here. So let's bring Eric on right now. Let's add him to the stream. We can do it. Okay, so we're gonna get Eric. Let's hold on a second. Eric, you're on with us. What do you think, Eric?
Hey, Rick. Hey, Larry. Really proud of you guys, and seems like you had a good success today. Part of what I'm going to talk about on tonight's show is the difference between crashing a Kingdom Hall or a cart and doing what you guys did today, because I think it's more effective than
Hold on
crashing.
1 second, Eric. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to get the. We have one line here that get hooked up here. You're not. We can hear you, but I want to hear you better. We do have a. I do have a link here. I got to put into my computer. So just give us a second. We want to hear you nice and loud and clear. So let's put this into computer here. All right. See if that works better. Go ahead, speak up now, Eric.
Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can.
I think the connection's bad. Maybe it's on my end.
You're on.
Okay. You're breaking up on my end. But anyways, I was just saying that what I'm going to talk tonight a little bit is the difference between crashing a Kingdom Hall and carts like we used to do and protesting. And I think protesting is starting to be the new way to wake people up. And even if you're a YouTuber or doing what you did today in a physical protest, having a lot of group chats and always talking about helping people through their problems and stuff. This is what's going to wake the Jehovah's Witnesses up. I think not to mention Google more than ever. And you know what? I won't get too much into it, but sometimes you're just not going to wake people up. But I think it's a great way to do it. And in a way, it's almost like the cart witnessing what you guys do, because it's right in their face. They can choose to look at it or not. And you don't have to talk to anybody. And you don't have to feel bad when you leave because you just crashed somebody's eating somebody's ice cream or lemonade, I mean. Because it can bring a lot of negative attention when you crash a cart, and it's not the greatest feeling in the world. But I'm proud of you guys. It looks like you had a lot of success, and that's all I wanted to say, Rick. Thank you.
Back here, but Larry, go ahead. Continue on what you were saying. I think it was fascinating.
Thank you, Rick. Yes, and your explanation that you just gave about the issue of the 144,000 and so on who's called not was well said, and so I appreciate that very much. But as you and I both agreed that likely that's going to be the next doctor that will be dropped in the future. I didn't want to take time right now to get into all the details of that particular issue as to what actually does the Bible say about the future and what is salvation? Is it earthly or heavenly? But if I'm sure I'm correct that in the past under Charlie Russell, they all strictly believed in the dictator. Joseph Rutherford came out of thin air. He invented it, and at the time it was invented, they had specific reasons why they had to invent an earthly class, and so on. So that's the origin of it. And isn't it odd? Isn't it odd that of all of Christendom, of all of Christianity, I think they are the one and only ones that have this oddball 144,000 doctrine, which can easily be disproved. That number can't hold up over tooth hold up. But at any rate, so I think that's the number one issue that Jehovah's Witnesses are vulnerable on. That's the number one issue that's so important, so significant, so meaningful. That's the issue that should be brought to their attention for reasons which I've just explained. What is the second issue? What is the second thing that is so important that it's the next most important thing to bring to the witnesses, to blast them with, so that it's an issue that's easily provable and very easily provable and very easily shown how they're wrong on this issue. And guess what? And it's an issue already. The witnesses have doubts about it in their mind. What is that issue? What is the number two issue? It is, of course, right now, I'm not going to get into all the details and particulars of it, but I'll just summarize it in saying, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has in fact not returned yet. The return of Jesus is still sometime off in the future. Of course, the witnesses say, oh no, Christ returned in 1914, that was his return. Well, if that was his return, no, their idea. And when you think of this issue of return, somebody returning, okay, some famous person is going to return. Douglas MacArthur say when he was driven out, when he was by the enemy, what were the famous heroic words? Not because Christ said, promised that he would return, and the early ancient church was enamored of this idea of the return of Christ. St. Paul.
Stop there with that because it's not really going too far with that, Larry. It's good we're going to talk about it, but our audience is it's enough is enough. Just slow down a little bit. Slow down. We don't have to get into that. We have Fran on with us. Fran and Joe, hello.
Hello, Rick. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear us, Fran and Joe?
Yes. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, we're up here. We can hear you fine. Yeah.
We just want to thank you, Rick. It's such a great job you're doing. It's a lot of work. First, you're at the convention. You're outside. You're televising the whole thing. You're in the hotel room. You're just amazing what you do. We've only do such a small part. We were there in Washington with you, and we were in the hotel room, and we know it's a lot of work. Really appreciate Julie, what she did going in there. It's a lot to have to re-enter that atmosphere, and she did such a good job. And thank you, Larry. Larry was there. We appreciate all of you doing that. We can't be there with you, but we're there. We are with you, but not physically. So we Joe and I just wanted to thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I don't know if they heard me.
Well, thank you, Fran. We had a really good day. In fact, there is technological. I was up at 3:00 this morning, and you have to put together a program. You gotta have. Yeah, they did hear you. Yeah, they did hear you. But to put together a program and live stream from You got to lug around cameras. You got to lug around your internet. You got to make sure we're connected. There's some technological skills that go on here, but we have some good people working on our team, and we're really thankful for them. Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for coming on the 6 Screens tonight. Thank you. All right. We don't get too much into a little bit,
Yeah, I though
All right, go ahead.
about the great General Douglas MacArthur when he was driven out of the Philippines. I will return. And in fact, he did return. And when he returned, the cameras all over the world, the return of General Jesus Christ, in fact, has not turned invisibly anywhere. The return of Christ is still in the future. So you see, on those two issues, Rick, the 144,000 and return of Christ, these are the big important issues that I'm going to use the word vulnerable on.
Well, you got it, Larry. You're absolutely right. I'm telling you that's going to be the killer. They've got to change the 144,000 doctrine. So you had enough? You got some more stuff you want to share with us?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to finish up here.
Okay.
Real quickly. What they're also vulnerable on is, and I'll make this quick. There is, in a nutshell, there is no such thing as a paradise earth utopia. I'm going to make a sign that for the JWs that says, "Show me where in the Bible the word paradise appears." And I'm not going to get into it now and where it is and what it means, but the facts are, biblically, all the scholars will tell you, there's no such thing as an earthly utopia. The JWs are the only ones that preach that. So also an issue, there's no such thing as everlasting life on earth. Don't believe in a... Think for yourself. Live your life now to the fullest. Don't sacrifice your life for fantasy or a fairy tale. One final issue too is, I was going to say, we could show the witnesses. Show me in the Bible where the word class, CLASS, appears. Okay? Show me in the Bible where the word organization appears. You can't, with your indulgence. I did want to just review for your audience the special signs that I made, some of which were my best work, significance and importance of each one, with your permission.
Well, we got 5 minutes, so go ahead. You got 5 minutes.
Okay.
And we're gonna...
Could I ask you? Yes. Yeah, and then if you could adjust the camera. Oh, I'm sorry. They're right here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Someone, okay. All right. I could put it. You can. Okay. Wait. Let me give a little. Okay. Here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Clearly, this says. Wait. Which way? Yeah. That. Okay. There. Clearly, it says. This is a sign we use today. A hard-hitting message. A lot of them saw it today because I was holding it. It says, Christ has not returned. It's still in the future. And of course, I've already explained all about it already. So this is already taken care of. Okay. Now, another sign that was on display here. I hope I can. It says, there's no such thing as the 144,000. That's been explained already, so that's a quick work. Here's a very... Now, quote unquote, paradise earth. Where does it say class? Where in the Bible? Listen. Where? Nowhere. That's where. So that's an,
I like that. So that's a good sign.
down to our last two. Okay. And this one, wait, is this coming through? Where is, okay. And this is self-explanatory. Are you a PMO? Physically in, mentally out. Don't lie now. Be honest.
Well, that's good. I like that too. That's a good sign, Larry. Good
And
sign.
down to my down to my last one, which is some of my best work ever. I love this one. This one here. Okay, let's see if it's right. See if it's. Is it? Huh? All right. Okay. Right. Okay.
Just read it.
Okay. Will Jehovah destroy? Will Jehovah destroy Dolly Parton at Armageddon? Question mark.
Well, why are you saying Dolly Parton?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. In a moment, I'm going to explain it, but I'm going to ask you for a little favor to help me answer it. You're going to, and I think you're going to be impressed. You are going to be impressed. But well, you're going to see it in a minute if you'll indulge me. Okay. Will Jehovah destroy Dolly Parton at Armageddon? I don't think so. Putin, Netanyahu, Robert De Niro, Madonna. Okay, fine. But not Dolly. Come on, man. Dolly?
You like Dolly?
No way. Now, Rick, I know I'm asking you this. What I'm about to ask you now. Listen, okay, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. What I'm going to ask you now, I know it's just impromptu and the spur of the moment. But I can in a few minutes I can set up a certain video, a certain recording that Dolly Parton made. Okay, and but I'm going to have to ask your indulgence so you'll put it through, and she came out with a fabulous, inspiring song, a song that will bring tears to your eyes. The title of the song is He Is Alive. Now, has probably done more for the cause of the Lord Jesus Christ than all the Jehovah's Witnesses have ever done in history. That's number one, and it is an inspiring song, okay? And number two, and this is a little bit of an oddball thing. This is number two about Dolly Parton. Do you know who a check for $200 million gave it to her in person for her personally to have? Do you know who did that?
Elon Musk.
No, it was not Elon Musk. It was the head honcho of Amazon, namely Jeff Bezos.
Oh, no.
Why? Why did he do that? Why did he do that? Acknowledge the goodness of Dolly Parton, the good character of Dolly Parton, and how she, I guess she has charities and one that helps people. And he didn't even give it to her personally. The money was given to her in her name personally, like she could go out and buy Cadillacs with it. But he knew to trust her, that she's a good thing, good for the money. Okay, so so the final point is, and I'll take maybe a few minutes to set it up. If you're okay with it, we'll play this. We'll play this fabulous song of. Wait a minute. We'll play this fabulous song of Dolly Parton, and it will answer your query.
Well,
You get the name of the song, I can pull it up in 30 seconds.
well,
Thank you.
Well, we can only play 17 seconds of it.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, because YouTube. I mean, that's a record. That's we're breaking copyright laws.
Yeah.
So we can't play it. So why don't you tell us what you said? Can you sing it?
No, I can't sing it, but maybe with the help there, I can. We can play 17 seconds of it, huh?
Maybe he can print the words out and bring it
Well,
back.
maybe we'll play a little bit, but
Just
if
play-
you don't make a case, I'll play a little
So
bit.
can I can leave it. I can go out and get my
Hold on
phone.
one
And,
second. So what's the name of the song?
The song is titled "He Is Alive" by Dolly Parton.
Okay, so Dolly Parton, let's get right on here right now. Let me just get right in here. We can do this right now. Dolly Parton, Dolly Parton. He will play this right now, but we can only play 17 seconds. Other than that, I get in trouble.
Okay. Play the 17 seconds toward the end of it, where it's the wait a minute.
It's just right there.
Yeah, okay, now it's a slow start to the song, Rick. It's a slow start. It's a slow start, but at the end, climax.
All right, so let's play at the end.
Somewhere.
Just
Okay.
give a second
Let's
here, Fran.
help. That's
Yeah. Hold on, Larry. Let's hold on. Don't jump the gun. You got to be careful here. I get in trouble. You know.
All right.
All right.
You know, you're right. You're right, Rick.
We can't do much more than that. I'm gonna get in trouble.
That was
So we can't. Just explain, Larry. Explain to the audience what's going on here. Okay. Explain to the song. Tell us about the song that you like. Okay. We can't do it. I mean, seriously.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So now we got problems here again. Okay. So Larry, just
Okay, I appreciate thank you, Rick. Thank you for trying. I appreciate that, and I understand completely your decision. I understand, and I agree with it. Well, it's a very simple story about the song. She came out with this song. I don't know if it was 5 years ago, something like that. A new song that she made, and it was for Easter time, the resurrection of Jesus, and the song is in celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And the song starts out kind of nice and slow, and it's kind of a narrative and so on, until she builds up to a tremendous, rousing crescendo at the end, where she just sings out, "He is alive! He is alive!" I mean, pardon my voice. I can't do it like she did, but I think she says it 3 times in a row at the end of the song. He is alive. He is alive. He is alive.
Okay.
And it does it so way that people are convinced of it.
Okay.
People believe it. So
we go with
it's a wonder.
Larry?
So that answers.
All right. Go
So
ahead. Your
is
time is up.
he got
Your
okay?
time
All
is
right.
up.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, Rick.
All right.
Okay. Let me.
Larry, yeah.
Okay. All
Your
right.
time is up. That's
Okay.
good. Good job.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate to do that to you.
All right.
But we only give him so much time to go here.
All right.
And that's
Okay.
it. Yeah, that's what we try to do here. We only have so much time to go. Well, anyways, you're on the 6 Screens Tele-Network. You're here in the Hilton Hotel up here in Boston, Massachusetts, and we're glad that you're on with us. We've got a lot of things still going on here. Friends, let's see what time it is. It's 9:49. If you're listening in, Eric, you're going to be coming on probably about 20 minutes or so. We'll go with your program, 20 minutes and a half. In the hotel up here in Boston area, and we did protesting at signs. He's a real trooper. He put his boots on the ground. He was he was really well. You came up a couple of days. Larry came up a couple of days. But anyways, I know you're on here with us. If you would like to say something, I hope you don't have any snafus here, so to speak. But excuse me. If you'd like to come, a little bit tired here, but we're getting through all of this. We had the protest. Like to come on and talk to us, just hit *6 on your telephone pad, or click that. See that little link? That link right there will bring. Go ahead.
Yeah, I used. I really enjoyed what Larry had to say. But I honestly, I expected him to say that two of the biggest issues with Jehovah's Witnesses is one would be the no blood for transfusion doctrine, and the other would be the shunning policy. To me, those are the two biggest issues that I think affect a lot of people. But I agree 100% with what Larry was saying, and I appreciated all that. But I honestly expect him to say the blood transfusion policy is terrible and it's killed many people. And the shunning policy is also terrible. That's all. And I appreciate what you. I really wish I could be down there with you. I'm only 2 hours away, but it's not that easy all the time, you know.
Well,
and I
no,
appreciate
it's not.
what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Well, it was good. We had a good showing, and we had the signs up. It was really good. We appreciate Larry coming up all the way from New Jersey. But you would have liked to have him talk about the blood issue. But of course, that wasn't brought up. I think what Larry was focusing on was the Jesus video at the convention. And they're really pushing Jesus more than ever. And they're really, I mean, this hasn't always been the case in the Jehovah's Witness religion, where you people don't believe in Jesus. And I can remember saying, well, yes, we do. We love Jesus. And we try to let them know our feelings on it. But in all reality, the Jehovah's Witness never believed in Jesus per se. They always believed in Jehovah God. But, you know, to now all of a sudden make a real statement here on Jesus, that's something really big. And that's one thing Larry was impressed by. I mean, he went to the convention and he saw the Jesus movie, the video they have, and it's like the Greatest Man book. Remember the Greatest Man book? Well, it's like a takeoff on that. And for some reason, I mean, the witnesses right now are really pushing Jesus. It seems like they want to become mainstream. But I gave you my feelings on it before. Jesus is very important when it comes to Christians. Now, the Watchtower is saying the only true brothers of Christ are the governing body. That's not always the case. I was an anointed one back in the year, 2000, members of the faithful and discreet slave. They're no longer that. The only ones that really are the brothers of Jesus, the ones that really will be the king with the king, are the governing body. And that's what they're really moving forward to, because there's so many people. Last year, as I mentioned earlier, 2023, there was 22,000 anointed. That even in 2024, they want to keep it down. They're trying to suggest to the people that the only ones that are real brothers of Jesus, the only anointed ones, of course, are the governing body. Well, you're on with us. You're on the Six Screens Telenetwork. Don't be bashful. We'd love to hear from you. Hit *6. What do you think? What do you think about Larry? Larry had a lot of guts standing out there. Go ahead. You're on with us. *6. Or come on via StreamYard. Friends, I'll tell you what. We have had a rockin' awesome day. We have really stood in front. We put our boots on the ground right there at the Songa Center in Lowell, Massachusetts. And I have to tell you, it makes a difference. It really, really does. Now, I know a lot of witnesses, they were not watching us today, but some were, but not all were. I would say 30% of the cars going by, they acknowledged us. Some of the people were reading the signs, but a lot of the people today, they just drove by. They knew that we were agents of Satan, the devil. That's what they would say. But don't you worry about that. I think that they've been instructed. I really do believe, maybe not at the convention, but I do believe that they've been instructed through their midweek meetings. If you go to a convention and you run into apostates, just drive by. Don't roll your window down. Don't say a thing. Don't take anything. I believe that's what's happening. Friends, I'll tell you, we had a great day today. I am not disappointed one bit. I am standing tall in the front lines of truth because I want to tell you the truth. I want to tell you the truth. The Jehovah's Witness organization is hemorrhaging. They are hemorrhaging big time. And I don't know where they're going to go from here. How can you have such a tarnished operation? The Watchtower is tarnished. They know it. They know it. Do you know it? Do you know it? The Watchtower is tarnished. There's nowhere for them to go. They are cooked. Get them off the grill. They're cooked. That's it. Why don't you dial in? Why don't you dial in? Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Rick. It's Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted, you know what? I was thinking tonight, if they really had the truth, the real truth, they wouldn't care if people drove by your son. They wouldn't try to hide anything. Well, we've got the truth. Who cares? They can say whatever they want. We know we're that positive. They wouldn't care that you were there.
Yeah.
No. And then I was thinking too, some of these doctrines that they're trying to they're going to make them say that it's a matter of the witness's conscience. They're going to make out of it, say, well, we didn't tell them to do this, but it's of their own conscience. So they'll put it on the rank and file witness. They're always trying to get out of things. Why would they care if people drove by your sign? If they were that positive that they had the truth.
Well, always good to hear from my wonderful woman, Susan. Thank you, Susan, for checking in with us tonight, right here on the Six Screens Channel Network. Thank you. Yeah, we had a good time out there. And I wanted to let you know, most of the people that were looking at the signs, and I was looking intently. I mean, I really was. I was focusing on certain things like a laser beam. I was focusing on the looks, the faces of the Jehovah's Witnesses driving by the signs. And I have to tell you, most of the people that were really curious, most of the people that were looking were women. I couldn't believe it. In fact, so many women were going by. They're looking at that Australia Royal Commission. They're looking at child sex abuse in the Watchtower. They're looking at Watchtower breaks up families. And I see them. They were, I've been around a while. I'm 76 years old. I'm not, I'm not making the dance here. I can tell what's going on. I've been doing protesting for 20 years, and I could really see that these people, when they're looking at signs, I can read body language. I'm not an expert on it, but I can read body language. When I see a woman sitting in the passenger side of the seat, and they're driving by, and they're looking at our signs, and they're pointing it to their husband, and the husband's looking very stoic. What do you get from that? I mean, do you have to be an expert on body language? That's wrong. And she's trying to inform her husband, and the husband's probably an elder or a ministerial servant. He's, no, honey, don't watch that. Don't listen to that. But I can see we were making a difference today. I would say 30% of the cars going by today were at least looking at those signs. Friends, it can make a difference. Hey, you're on the Six Screens Tele-Network. Who would like to speak up right now? It's *6. And why don't you come on StreamYard? Well, what's the matter with you guys today?
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on with us. Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking about this today. In fact, I was obsessed by an old memory. The last time someone said to me, just wait on Jehovah. I was talking to an elder from Louisville, and I told him about the problems I was having as the elder. He says, well, you just need to wait on Jehovah. And I said, well, is that what you do when other people in the congregation commit serious sins? Hell no. But isn't that really, it's despicable. That's what everybody at that convention has been told for 50 years. And you for 70 years. Just wait on Jehovah. What an incredible farce that has been. But again, if it's you, if you committed a sin, they're not going to wait at all. They want to see you. They may not have talked to you in 6 months, but if they find out you committed a sin, they want to see you in 2 days. Oh, yeah. And look, we need to remind people that that's all they've been doing is telling you to wait on Jehovah. And guess what? You're going to keep on waiting because there is no Jehovah. That's not God's name. And you're involved in a fabricated farce of a God that doesn't exist. And that's why your life is going to crap. So please don't ever say that again to me or to anybody. I'm sure they probably use that phrase at the assembly this year again, constantly. Just wait on Jehovah. My God, let's get over it already, okay? Thank you, Rick.
Well, King of Dots, we always love to hear from you. And I had to tell you something. I wish you were up here with us today. I think you really could have made a difference. And
well, you're 10 years too late. You're 10 years too late. I was invited to somebody's beach house there in Cape Cod 10 years ago, but we didn't go. So if you'd done it 10 years ago, I might have been able to catch up with you, man. So.
Well, thank you. Thank
It's
you.
all about timing, Rick.
Well, thank you for dialing in, King of Dots. We always love to hear from you from the state of Ohio. And
I want to hear more from Gilbert because we're going to start a food cart thing. My people will speak with his people. We won't have just a regular cart with literature. We will have tacos and hot dogs and other things mixed in with the literature. And you know, I'm sure we're going to get a much better response than Watchtower House, unless they want to do flavored literature. Flavored literature. Anybody out there for that? I am. Okay, I'm going to leave you now. Bye-bye.
well, that's King of Dots. Thank you very much, King of Dots, for coming on. Always love to hear from you. Well, my name is Rick Farron. I'm here at the Six Screens Telenetwork. We're right up here in Boston. We're at the Hotel Hilton. Wow, we've been hoping all night. Yes.
Hey, I'm calling from 864. This is Greenville, South Carolina.
Yes, South Carolina.
And I actually went to the convention just to do my research. You had mentioned it last week on your program. And for the afternoon session, the Saturday, I wanted to find out how many people were really getting baptized. And you were right. There used to be 2 conventions in this town, but there was only one. Well, what was the attendance Saturday that they announced before the end of the program? They announced 6,525 in attendance is what they counted. Now, there was a lot of empty seats in this Barnsick Shores Wellness Arena. There were 16 men and 22 women that were baptized. But here's the interesting thing. You had mentioned last week how they were watching people as they came in to see if they were apostates and all. And I was standing at the back counting the people as they were dunked into the water, getting baptized. And I knew I had this funny feeling about, you had mentioned about reading people. I had a funny feeling I was being watched. And I was just minding my own business, counting the people as they were baptized. And there were 2 elders that were watching me. I can watch them at the corner of my eye. And one decided to speak up and ask questions. And I said, well, I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to observe. I don't know what your motive is when you do ask a question. Oh, I'm just being friendly, doing like Jesus did, showing my love and all that. I said, okay, thank you. And I mind my own business and kind of, but anyhow, the crowd was pretty small. It wasn't filled up like I remembered years past. That arena would be packed. I would say it was at least 3/4 of or less full, maybe half full. I just wanted to make that mention. I was listening last week, and I wanted to give you the facts. I was there at that convention. I was only there for 2 hours. Couldn't stand anymore. Thank you very much, Rick. I hope you have a great time this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm feeling 10 feet high. I feel like I'm walking on a cloud. I mean, this is the biggest thing for me. I love protesting. I love out there standing on the front lines, putting our boots on the ground. Who else would like to come on? You're on with us. Go ahead. *6. All right. Well, anyways, we've got, we got a lot of things still happening here on the 6 screens tonight. We got Eric. He'll be coming on shortly from Nashville, Tennessee. He's a former Jehovah's Witness, Awakening After the Watchtower. That's his program. Friends, I have to tell you, I am so happy. I am happified, if you want to use that word, to be able to stand out in front of a convention and to be able to hold a sign up in letting the Jehovah's Witnesses as well as the world know this is an evil cult. This organization is hiding child molestation. They are hiding the deaths of many people from shunning. They commit suicide. They're not telling the truth about Jesus, even though they have the Jesus video. You heard Larry on here just a little while ago. But anyways, you're on the 6 screens, tell the network. And if you'd like to speak up, you have the forum. We'd love to have you talk. We've been, up since 3 o'clock this morning, putting all of this together. There's some technological events that take place here. It's just not easy. I'm not complaining, not explaining. But, when you do a video, you've got to have, especially at a convention, you got to have your microphones, you got to have your cameras, you got to have the people in place, you got to have the signs. But, this one went off pretty doggone good today. I really think that we did a good job. And a lot of you people have been saying we have as well. So I appreciate that. But then also moving all of that to a motel or a hotel room up here it's at the Hilton Hotel. That's where we're broadcasting here live tonight. And we got in here. The reason why we're a little bit late tonight is because yesterday, remember CrowdStrike and Microsoft, they had problems with the internet and everything went down and flights were canceled and bank accounts were stopped. And well, anyways, they're the same problem here. So we couldn't get into the room. We could not get a key to our room here at the Hilton. We had to have someone escort us to the room, and it's a real nightmare, friends. I'll tell you. I mean, see, that's what happens with the internet. The internet's a great thing. It's a great thing, but man, if it ever goes down, we are all in serious trouble. I don't know what will happen. I think it's always good. My wife, Susan, she's a wonderful woman, and what she does is she takes notes. She does not believe totally in the internet. She says, Rick, don't put all of the information up there. Put it in writing, put it in a notebook, put it somewhere. Because, the internet goes down. I couldn't even get to my room here tonight. I had to wait a half hour just to get into the hotel room. I'd have someone escort me up to the room and open the door. The keys would not work. So you can see, geez, I'll tell you, we're going to be in big time trouble if the internet ever shuts down in this country. I don't know what's going to happen. People won't be able to get money out of the bank. People won't be able to get in their hotel rooms. Geez, it'll be total chaos. Well, we love all of you guys. I know we got a lot listening in tonight. So why don't we do this? We got Eric coming on very shortly. Awakening After the Watchtower. That'll be Eric's program here on the network. But before we do that, I want to hear from you. You're the people that make the program. I really would like to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think that all of these empty seats, do you think they're going to settle well? Do you think the loyal Jehovah's Witness going to the conventions is going to sit there and go, oh my goodness, look at these empty seats. What are they going to say? I know the Watchtower is making up all kinds of excuses. I've got people writing to me here on the 6 screens, and they're saying, oh, well, it's a shame people aren't here because they're on Zoom. That's baloney. People aren't on Zoom. Then I also got people writing me saying, well, we don't have a lot of people here because Jehovah, you'll give people room to move around. He doesn't want it so crowded like it used to be. In the Watchtower, I mean, this is absolute class. What would you like to say, Eric? Go ahead, Eric.
Actually, just giving you a quick little tip or announcement. I don't have a show on the StreamYard list. It just says JW World News. There's no Awakening After the Watchtower. Can you hear me? I can't hear you if you can hear me. It's bizarre. I'm going to bounce. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Well, I'll send you a link, Eric. It might be.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Connection.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep. Can you hear me?
Okay. You're coming in and out, and it's really hard to hear you. It's very spotty.
Okay.
Like you're underwater. I think it's a connection thing.
I can hear you, but we'll send you a link. I'll send you a link.
Okay, I can hear you now.
So you'll be able to come
Okay.
on.
Okay.
I hope that.
I can't hear him. It just comes in and out. Oh well, I'm gonna leave.
All right, Luke. All right. Let's see what's happening. Okay, well, I think we're back on right again. So, friends, every time Eric comes on, we'll give Eric a link. We'll give him a link. He'll be coming on his Watchtower program, but I'm not sure how this is going to work. Eric will be coming on. Let's give him, it's 10:13 right now. Eric, say about 10:30. We're going to get you on here, okay? So hang in here with us, Eric. You are on JW World News. That's the news the Watchtower doesn't want us talking about. But boy, we talk about it every Saturday night. We've been doing it for 20 years, friends. January 26th, we will be on the air for 20 years. We have never missed a Saturday night. We have been pretty much here when you need us. We're not giving up now. We are moving full speed ahead. God has helped me. I have not been sick. I have not been unable to do a program for 20 years in a row. We are here because you're here. And the thing is, we've got a good audience. There's a lot of people out there right now that are suffering. There are people listening to this program. They're probably in a bedroom. Could be a man, could be a woman. They're in a bedroom, they're suffering. They have been shunned. Their family isn't talking to them. Their own children is not talking to them. Their friends have discarded them. The only connection they have to any people is the 6 screens of the Watchtower. So we're so glad that you're listening in. I know you're out there. I know you're listening in here tonight. You're sad. You don't know what to do. You've been displaced. But don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. Friends, the Watchtower is tanking. You are going to be vindicated. Your friends and relatives, just give it some time. They'll be talking to you again. They've had enough of this. They have had enough of being in the watchtower. Their lives have been so hurt. People are waking up. They're smelling the coffee all over the place. There's never been such a mass exodus of Jehovah's Witnesses in the history of their organization. We know back at the time of Rutherford, when Rutherford came in, they lost 250,000 people. They went to the Bible Students Movement. And then in 1975, they lost another 250,000 people because the people said, hey, listen, you were wrong with 1975. But right now, we are in the midst of a mass exodus in the watchtower. We have got upwards of, I'm just going on the record. I don't mind telling you, I do this. This is what I do basically day in, day out. I monitor the watchtower. I see what's going on behind the curtains. Right now, friends, PMOs, those people that are physically in, mentally out. How many of those do you think there are? How many of those do you think there were at the assembly, the convention today? Friends, there's thousands. This has never been the issue with the watchtower. Either people left or they didn't. Well, right now, they're PMOs, physically in, mentally out. They're going to the watchtower in a perfunctory fashion. They don't want to really admit that the watchtower is wrong, because what do you think is going to happen to them? Their family, their relatives, all of those that are involved in the watchtower, they'll drop them like a hot potato. So for that reason, they don't want to be shunned. They're hanging in there. I'm going to go on the record here to say tonight, I told you a little earlier, there's millions of PMOs. There could be upwards of 4 million. Now, the watchtower claims they have 9 million members, but there could be 4 million. I mean, that's almost half, right? Can you imagine that? How would you like to be running an organization that has that many people that are dissenters, that many people that no longer believe in this? I mean, could you be happy about that? I mean, I couldn't run a business where, 90% of, let's go at 50% or 40%. I couldn't run a business that 40% of my customers hated me. How far could you go? You couldn't go too far at all. So friends, right now, the watchtower is tanking. There's a lot of PMOs. They're not leaving. I was hoping I could get some up here to the hotel room here tonight. We're staying here at the Hilton. There are witnesses among us all over the place. It'll be very difficult. I've been asking them. I was hoping even today we had cards ready to give out. But I told you, friends, don't count on it. Don't count on it. It's very, very difficult to get a PMO. I had the voice changer already. I had masks. I had a whole bag full of masks over there. Nothing happened. But don't be despaired. Don't say, well, Rick, I wish somebody. That's okay. I only think it's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. We're going to get a lot of people. We're going to continue this. I'm not giving in. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving out. We're going to keep going forward. We're going to keep exposing the watchtower. And eventually, we're going to get some PMOs to speak up here on the Six Screens Tele-Network. Well, what do you guys think? Go ahead, hit *6 on your telephone pad. Do you think PMOs would have came up to a hotel room? I told you not to count on it. I told you it might not happen, and it didn't happen. So I'm being very honest and upfront with you. But do you think PMO? Yes.
Hi, honey. I wanted to say that they might not speak up now, but we had an experience here in Massachusetts where it wasn't this particular town, but people called us like 3 or 4 years later and said they had seen us outside protesting. And even though it took them 3 or 4 years to become a PMO or just to walk away, they did see you. So maybe those that have seen you protesting today won't say anything today, but maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years from now, they might be on the right side of right and abandon the watchtower.
Well, Susan, you're a source of great encouragement. A source of great encouragement. That makes me feel so good. You're absolutely right. Yes, we had people that, you and I, We had Luke with us as well. Back, I believe it was in 2015. And we were protesting outside the regional convention in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I did read that some people actually came out of the so-called truth because of seeing us out there in front of the stadium. Oh, I'll tell you, you remember that, Susan, right?
Yes, I do. And that's encouraging. Sometimes it takes, that might have been the first time they were made aware of some of these issues. And they might have gone home and started thinking about it and started researching it on the internet. So, who knows the good you'll be doing today. Plus, those pictures of the empty assemblies, I thought it looked like a lunch break or something. I couldn't believe that those are the actual attendance. They could have got a venue half the size that they rented. It's sad.
Well, we will actually, seriously, I'm not boasting or anything, but, when this YouTube video goes up at the convention, we'll get 10 to 20,000 viewers. That's more people than were at the convention today. When you stop and think about it, if you want to put it in realistic facts. Well, Susan, it's always good to hear from you. You're a wonderful source of encouragement. Don't you ever change. You're a good woman. I love my beautiful wife. Thank you, Susan. Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Love you, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, the other day from New York.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, you just gotta keep it up. People like you that have been going on so long.
Yeah, speak up a little louder if you could. Speak up a little.
An interest. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Speak up nice and loud. Yep.
I'm saying that people like you gotta keep it going. You don't know what impact they're having on people waking up, and just in those protests, putting that interest in people's minds, in PMOs or other ones that are just maybe curious, and the way that you treat them as well, treat them with love and respect, and not come at them. It's the organization that we're against, not the members. So as long as you keep doing that, I think you're going to keep seeing more people wake up. But it's crazy growing up in the organization to see the convention empty like that. They're definitely putting a dent in them, and I'm not sure if they did do that PR campaign that gave them the idea to change the wording or how they their views, but they want all the disfellowship to go back. So definitely, I don't think they're going to keep getting any new ones, so they're going to focus on keep getting all the disfellowship ones back and using the family or the friends to lure them back in. But I think it's too late now. The cat's out the bag, and we know where the Watchtower is.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate you calling in. We really do thank you for that. Well, listen, you're on 6 Screens Tele Network. We have got Eric coming up next. Eric, stay with us. Your link will be sent to you. You'll be able to come in. Any other calls at all? Anybody else that wants to speak up tonight, hit *6. Oh, by all means, come on our StreamYard. You can see the link right there. Boy, I'll tell you what, when we do a protest, I would love to have you guys come up and be with us. It would be wonderful. Do you guys like a good natural feeling? Some people sit down, they drink a couple of cans of beers, they have a couple of shots of whiskey. Some people just like feeling good. Well, I'm going to tell you how you can feel good without even doing that. You can stand tall on the front lines of truth. You can put your boots on the ground. You can do it in a convention near you. Now, we got a lot of conventions happening all over this country, all over this world. They'll go into November of next year. So if you're listening to this broadcast, I see people listening from Sweden and the United Kingdom and all over the world. If you're listening in, why don't you give it a shot? Muster up the courage and put your boots on the ground and make yourself up a little sign like a good friend Larry today. You saw Larry. Boy, he was out there. He was a real trooper. He was out there. He got right in their face. He did not give up. I tell you what, I really applaud Larry. He was doing a wonderful job today. And listen, all of us together, all of us together, all of you people. You're on YouTube. You're on Facebook. You're on the Facebook groups. You're on podcasts. Do you realize that you're all making a difference? I want to tell you, you're my ally. We're all working together. Well, let's not look at this as some competitive thing. Let's look at it as working together. Let's down the watchtower. Let's work hard to expose them. Let's get people to know who they are. And it's working. It's working. I want to thank all of those people that are doing this. Do you realize even I see so many new people coming on YouTube. They got little videos. And what do you think I should say? They're doing a great job. Keep it up. All of you folks, the Mike and Kim, even the Cedars. I know people that's controversial, but everybody, every single person that is exposing the Watchtower, you are my ally. We're all working together to expose this evil cult. And that's why it's working. It really is. And now we have countries. We have countries, Norway, Belgium, all of these countries coming down on the Watchtower. There's 12 of them that are coming down. Japan, all these countries coming down and exposing the Watchtower. Well, you're on with us. You're on JW World News. That's the news the Watchtower doesn't want us talking about. I'm trying to get a link off to our good friend Eric. He'll be coming on very shortly. So let me just try to do some talking at the same time. I have to send links off so people can come in. So I'm going to send this right now. Awakening After the Watchtower. That's going to go off to Eric. Awakening After the Watchtower. That's a program Eric does, and he does a great job at it. And I just hope that we can keep the program going tonight without any snafus. Let me put the date up here. Today is July 20th. Can you believe that? July 20th. And we'll give Eric the link here. I have to send it off to him. July 20th. That'll be 2000, excuse me, 2024. Okay. Have to walk and chew gum here at the same time sometimes. But let's get this up so we can get the link off to Eric and he can come up and do the program tonight. We'll be closing out in about 10 minutes or so. But stay with us. Don't go anywhere. You're on the Six Queens Telenetwork. We've been through this morning, this whole program together. And we're glad you're with us. We don't in any way discount anyone's thoughts. If you have a thought and you want to come on, there's different ways of doing it. Dial in on telephone. All right, let's see. We're loading up here. Computer's going on. Computer's going off. There's a lot of technical issues here that you have to deal with. So just bear with us. And we'll get right up here very shortly. Every time we try to make some changes or we try to send a link up, when you're running off of a little hotspot, it's not as strong as your regular router. So let's see what's on here. Why am I not going in? It keeps spinning and spinning. I'm going to refresh it again. Let's see what happens. Give us a second here. You can go absolutely nuts. Some stuff. We try to do it. We try to bring it to life. Why they're not working now? Come on, let's move it. All right, let's see what happens here. Maybe soon we're in the studio. Let's see what happens. Got our internet connection. It's taking a while here. Just bear with us. Okay. Well, but again, another snafu. Let's see what happened. I'm not sure what happened. All right, so
see last night.
Well, we're back on
I
now.
think
Well,
that's-
we're back on now. I'm just trying to get a link off to Eric so we can start his program. And every time I seem to switch from one venue to another, it seems like we are having some issues. But let's see if we can't. Boy, it's driving me nuts trying to get Eric on here, and we're not able to do this. Okay. Stay with us. Yeah, we can use the phone. It's for some reason we're not. I'm trying to multitask here and do a lot of things at the same time. Eric, can you hear me? I'm going to send you a link. Eric, and then you'll be able to come on. But somehow, yeah. Hold on. It's we might have to. We'll see what happens here tonight. We might have to. Hold on, Eric. We might have to cancel the program. I'm not sure. We're having a lot of problems here tonight with this. All right, so let's log into Yard Stream. Geez, StreamYard. It's I type it in and it goes off. Let's give it a second. Let's see what happens. We're trying to get Eric on from Tennessee. He's a former Jehovah's Witness. So let's just bear with it. Let's do a live stream here. Let's do it on Facebook. Let's do it on the Awakening After the Watchtower. Let's see what happens right now. Geez, I don't know how many times I got to type this in. Just give us a second. Okay, would someone like to speak up and talk in the meantime while I'm doing this?
Hey, you're doing a good job.
Oh, trying to do the best we can. I mean, we're operating from the hotel room. We got, limited internet connection after the watchtower. Thank you, though. Thank you, Tom. Stay with us. We'll get Eric on here shortly. Yeah, I have to type when we we're doing different programs here. You have to type in different things for StreamYard. So we're trying to do that and talk at the same time. It gets kind of confusing at times. Okay, so let's.
Are you at the same hotel that you're going to have your live and live?
Yes, it is, Tom. It's the same hotel. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, same hotel. So it's a beautiful hotel. My goodness. But they have problems tonight getting the keys. They didn't have keys. We have the problem that we had yesterday with the internet going down. The keys were not working. So I'm gonna send Eric a link right now, and he's gonna do the program. Hopefully, we'll see what happens here in the next little bit. So let's we're loading it up now. We're gonna try to get Eric on. Let's enter the studio.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Hey, I'm calling back from 864
Yeah.
Greenville, South Carolina
Yeah.
convention. And I did some additional investigation asking how many congregations were meeting there. So that Saturday morning attendance was 6,500 people, over 67 congregations.
Wow.
So if someone can do the math. Now, years ago, there was 2 conventions here in Greenville, but this year there was only 1. So, and this represented 67 congregations. And so that shows you a decline in the people that are members of the organizational or the cult. I'll say the cult. So I thought I'd throw that information out there for someone that can do the math in Greenville, South Carolina. 67 congregations. One convention prior, it was 2 conventions with a full capacity of over 10,000 people. So we can see the decline over the course of time. I just want to make that mention.
Well, thank you. Thank you. No, and I know that, boy, we see so much decline going on. Eric, I'm trying to send you a link if you're listening in. The link is not, I don't know if it's because of our internet connection or whatever, but stay with us. We're trying to get you the link to come on. It's just, okay, I think you're on there right now. Yep, I think you're in. Yep. Can you hear us? I can hear you. Okay, you can hear me okay. All right, Eric. Well, why don't we end this? Let's say, okay, hold on one second. Just hold on. When I'm not in our studio, I mean, there's a lot of different things that we're trying to go through here. It's not, I can do it so much easier because we have bad internet connection. So anyways, Awakening After Watchtower that'll be coming on very shortly. So stay with us. For some reason, hold on. Jeez, I tell you, it's just getting a little confusing. Okay, so we're going to end this broadcast here. Friends, we're going to end the broadcast. Thank you for coming in tonight to the Six Screens Tele-Network. We've got Eric coming on next. Eric, I'm not sure how things are going to go. I'll leave you on for a while. If I just... Yeah. All right. Yeah, so what happens is I'll be leaving here. Okay. Well, don't worry about it. It might be a short-lived program. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, everyone, for coming in tonight to the Six Screens Tele-Network. We had a good day, a tiring day, but we made a difference. We were standing tall on the front lines of truth. We put our boots on the ground, and hopefully some Jehovah's Witnesses will move their way out of the organization. Thank you for coming on and being with us. We're going to end this broadcast right here. We got Eric coming in from Tennessee next. We're going to end it here. Thank you for being with us. All right, stay with us.